My name's Chris. Been here for the last couple weeks, and this is my Asperger's. So throughout my life, I've done a lot of running, a lot of running. So I decided, since that's what I feel is fairly unique about me, that's what I'm going to talk about to you all tonight. Is my life through the eyes of my running, or well, mainly a couple key events in my life that are highlights in that regard. So it all started when I was younger, elementary school. We all play games on the playground. The game that I played with my friends often was tag. Tag involves running. So that's probably where all of this started, was right there, early childhood, like most things that everyone has a lifelong affection for. Alright, so 5th grade came around and we were learning about wolves. Now, this may be a memory glitch that I'm having because I don't particularly know how this associates, but somewhere in that lecture about wolves, it mentioned that they run with only one contact point on the ground at a time. So when most of you are walking or running, or sorry, not at a time, but like per foot. Anyway, when most of you are walking or running, it's heel, toe, and then you're going, you go forward. So when sprinters and other people who are actually running quicker they run on their toes. They have one contact point, and that was it. So I was in 5th grade though, I didn't know that, so this for me was new information. So I took that information and decided to apply it to what I was doing. And it worked fantastic, as I remember it. I noticed a noticeable difference. So that was fantastic. Put me that much farther ahead of my friends. And the next step, or the next event that happened rather, was in middle school. In middle school, I joined the track and field team because I felt I was fairly quick and wanted to use that potential, shall we say. So I joined the track and field team in 7th grade, and all I had ever run on at that point was a dirt track. I had purchased track spikes, which if any of you have ever seen before, it's basically a sock with a rubber sole on the bottom with spikes sticking out. It's very, very light and very interesting to run in. But I'd only ever run on dirt, and it's different than if any of you guys have ever been out on the tracks that you see that are composite material. For example, in the well, the 2nd floor, they have that nice, raw, soft rubber material. So it turns out, if you take a pair of spikes and you run on that material, you get different results. So in 7th grade, I made it to the section finals, I believe, and we went to run at ARC, which has a composite track, which was entirely new for me. So when we all lined up at the start, the starter fired off his gun, and we all took off, all 7 or 8 of us, however many lanes there were on the track. And it was the most incredible sensation I had ever felt at that time. I literally felt like I was flying. I thought I was going so fast. It was absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, the guy next to me was going that much faster. So I took 2nd place. And then I took 2nd place to him the next year also. Same guy. Beat me twice. Man. Alright, anyway, his name was Clay. He went to Stillman Middle School, and he was a head and a half taller than me with the funniest looking front teeth. And I took solace from that. Anyway, so I did well enough in middle school. I continued on through high school to do track and field. And this event was a little bit different. One of the events that that I ran in high school was the 4x400 relay. And basically, you have 4 people on a team. Each member on that team runs 1 lap around the track. So there were 5 or 6 teams that were running at once. And I was the 3rd leg of the race on that team. So we were either far enough ahead or far enough behind to where when I ran my first corner around the track and I hit the back end of the track, there was no one in front of me, couldn't hear anyone behind me, and turns out that at Bella Vista they only light one side of the track. So when I went around the corner, it got dark. Oh, this was at night, by the way. It got dark, it got quiet, and it was like I was running by myself, totally alone. I was so focused on what I was doing, I couldn't hear anything. It was a very strange sensation of just isolation. It's very interesting. That was something that stuck out to me. And the next event, so after that, broke my pelvis, and you guys were here last week, table topics, heard about that. Long story, not going to go into it, running out of time. So the last event here that I'm going to cover in 35 seconds, 40 seconds, was the proudest moment that I've had running track in the field. And that was my 4x100 relay team when I was running with ARC got invited to a Stanford Invitational meet. And I was the first leg of the race. And the way the track was designed so that everyone runs the same distance, if you're in the outside lane, you start up ahead of everyone. And I started up ahead of everyone, and I took off when the guy said go. And I handed off the baton, and it's like 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then people started passing me. So I kept my lead. We'll go into the significance of that later. But basically, then the second guy and the third guy dropped the baton, fumbled between themselves, and it was very disappointing. And he's about to pull the red, so I'm done. Thanks for listening. It's fun.